Hi, everyone. Welcome back. If you've been tuning in to our live streams on LinkedIn, YouTube, or X over the last couple of weeks, you have seen us talk a lot about the annual Data Connect conference and the data visualization competition that comes with that event. So over the last couple of weeks, we've talked a little bit to each of our top 10 finalists in the annual Data Connect conference data visualization competition. Today we're here with Jennifer, but before we get started, I want to give a little bit of context around Data Connect and the Data Viz competition itself, how the heck we narrowed it down to these top 10 people, and then I'll turn it over to Jennifer to dive a little bit into her biz. So to provide some additional context, Women in Analytics hosts an annual Data Connect conference here in Columbus, Ohio every year. This year is our 7th event, which is crazy to think about. But alongside that event, we host an annual Data Connect conference data visualization competition, which is a mouthful. So thank you for bearing through that with me. We get hundreds of these visualization applications in every year with the help of our sponsor at Apexon. We somehow narrow it down to a top 10. And those top 10 folks are who we're speaking with. We've had a couple of conversations over the last couple of weeks. We have a few more coming up as well. And this is really just an opportunity for those who submitted to dive a little bit more into their viz, share a little bit more information about it, and then also where you can connect with them after this interview. So yes, Jennifer, like I mentioned, is in our top 10. And I would love to turn it over to you, Jennifer, to share a little bit about yourself and your viz.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelsey. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to everybody. So I am Jennifer Dawes. I've been using Tableau, I think maybe roughly 8 years, but not all of those 8 years are equal, if I had to say. I really love Women in Analytics and this competition. Actually, it's near and dear to my heart. It's the first conference I ever attended in the data and technology space. I've attended and watched so many amazing people go on to top 5 and watch the winners be announced live at the conference. And so this is definitely a passion point for me. And to be in the top 10 with some amazing, amazing women that I love and respect dearly is really exciting. So a little bit about my biz. The entry for this year that I submitted was the Love Legacy Secrets of the Longevity in the Blue Zones. If you're not familiar, there's a really awesome Netflix special that you need to watch. It's Live to 100, How to Live Past 100 and Live with Vitality. So what intrigued me about this, a couple of years ago, actually, my husband and I watched a National Geographic special about this guy that was traveling the world, trying to understand pockets of the population that were living past 100 around the world. I think this special is about a pocket of population in Italy. And so it really just intrigued us thinking about that there are communities in the world that are not just living long and healthy lives, but 100 years old and still going on regular hikes and living with such vitality. So the Netflix special, we were already familiar with the blue zones and some of the studies, but the Netflix special really sucked us in. And for me, it was just kind of an obsession. Being a data person, just thinking about like, what are the levers I need to pull? I've not been one that's, let me go diet and live the healthiest of lifestyles, but the idea of having specific levers to pull to be able to improve my life and the potential longevity of my life. So long story short, I really wanted to dive deep into what is this study that we have on the blue zones? What's the data behind it? What is the team kind of came out with what's called the Power 9, which you'll see here at the top. It's breaking, they studied these 5 different places across the world where they have just these high pockets of individuals living past 100. And what was common within these pockets of population was in a couple of different categories. It's how they socialized with their community. It was how they get out and move and stay active. It's how they are eating in their current diet. And then it's the outlook that they had in life. So kind of broken into these 4 categories here were really the common denominator across all of the populations in different countries that they visited. And so within that, they have a couple of definitions on things that you can do to improve your lifespan. So scrolling down my viz, there's some interactivity. So if it's me talking about eating wisely, there's some hover action giving you the definition, and it does highlight down below within the story and rest of the analysis within those Power 9, which piece I'm calling out. So I talk a little bit about my story. I talk about watching the documentary. And then I think the big piece for me is I wanted to get into the data. I wanted to understand, like, how did they get to the Power 9? How did they come down to this is the thing that I need to go and do? I wasn't able to get my hands on their actual data, but what I ended up doing for this is trying to validate what they were saying using data that I can access. So if if you've been around in analytics, we're probably all familiar with the population pyramid over time and just thinking through by decade how long people have been living. And that's kind of like the starting point, is understanding the so what, right? Why are we talking about centenarians? Why do we care about living past 100? Well, it's because very few people across the world are and have historically. So that's kind of my starting point, is just getting my data and understanding the baseline of why is this important. And from there, I jumped into when we talk about one of the Power 9 was like the right outlook and kind of having happiness and joy about your life. I was able to find the happiness index. And so I pulled the happiness index and life expectancy for countries across the world. And so again, me trying to validate, they're saying that I should live this way. They're saying this is what it would be to have life longevity. So looking at the happiness index and life expectancy across the world, I wanted to understand, is there a direct correlation there? And so I did a correlation test in Tableau, and sure enough, there's a strong correlation between the two. Whether you're living in a country with a happiness index is high, it directly relates to your life expectancy. And then from there, I kind of wanted to understand more about these countries and where the United States fall, because the study that was done globally, there's very few locations in the US that actually have individuals living into 100. And so kind of the big whoa moment for me, the shocker, was we're actually 47th on the list as a country, which did kind of shock me and surprise me, just thinking about lifestyles and access that we have. So from there, the other piece that was a big part of the Power 9 was understanding religious and your belief system and anchoring on that. What was interesting is the data that I did have access to, there actually wasn't a correlation there. But I think I go on to explain why I feel like that may have not shown a correlation and how that could be different than the data that the team used. For me, I think the piece that they were stressing is it's not just having a religion, but it's being involved in a community. So the data that I was using suggested, yes, I have a religion, therefore I'll live long. And that in itself isn't really what the study was about. It was more of, you're connected and involved with a religious community and you attend X number of sessions or connect with these individuals X number of times a month. So I kind of explained why I feel like the data that I pulled didn't really help support the original study. And from there, I think probably my favorite part is looking at the 6 spots across the globe where we see the pockets, and they deem them as a blue zone because the population is living into 100. And then what does their diet look like? Where are these locations? And then I compare it against the United States as a whole. So it's the 5 locations across the world compared to the US as a whole. And you can kind of see the diet differences. And I go into a little bit about that. And then one of the other pieces that I think was really strong from the study was community, community, community. And one of the things that, I think it was Italy and a couple of the other countries that they talked about, is as people aged, it wasn't a then they move into a nursing home, is they live in the house with the family. And just the difference in that cultural piece and how that impacts someone's life expectancy was huge. And so that was the next piece. And I think the most exciting part of the Blue Zone is there's actually a survey that you can take about your current lifestyle, and they will tell you how many years that you would be expected to live. And then from there, you can kind of understand, okay, again, what are the levers that I need to pull? Do I need to go eat something different? Do I need to just connect more with my community and people? And how is that going to impact my life? So this is really me taking the survey in 2022 and then taking it again last year in 2023, and then the differences. And just a couple of things that jumped out to me. My husband and I joked that I don't like seafood or fish, and I've refused over the years to eat fish. And he had a aha moment as we were watching the special, because eating fish even just one time in a week can really dramatically improve your health. And so I committed to that. And that was kind of the most significant change that I was able to make. And according to their survey, had a dramatic change in our my life expectancy. That, and then just processed grains and other things that we did differently. And so from there, I tried to analyze, here are all the questions from the survey. Here are all the possible answers. And you can kind of see from low to high, if it's going to have a negative impact or a positive impact. And you can kind of see the range within each of these different groups. So if you were really wanting to have a dramatic change, make a dramatic change to your lifestyle, according to them, you'll see the ones that have the most positive that you probably want to address first if you were looking to make a change. Whereas some of these that have a very short span is going to have a smaller impact in total life expectancy. So the question on how many salty snacks, which I'm really excited because I'm a salty snack kind of kid, not a sweets person. So I was really thrilled that this didn't have a big impact, whether negative or positive, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, all in all, my goal was to try and validate some of the findings of what the Blue Zone study was all about without their actual direct data, minus the survey that they distributed. That was kind of my pathway to it. And I think in the end, it did help support, hey, so there is some truth to this, right? And obviously, just thinking about the choices that we're making. And I think, again, the big takeaway is like investing in being connected with the community that we are around. I think that's something that really we took to heart, my husband and I, and we've really been pouring into our communities, just thinking about that's the way we're wired. That's the way we're supposed to live and how we're made for. So yeah, I really loved it. I've been rambling, but it's a really exciting special that you should watch. And hopefully you all, if anything, go and watch it after looking at this.
Yeah, so, I'm certainly excited to watch it. I had never heard of a Blue Zone before until I started navigating through your data viz, and now I'm super intrigued and I'm excited to watch the documentary. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. We definitely, when we first watched this a couple of years ago, like I said, it was like a National Geographic thing. We were plotting our move. Where was it? In either Greece or Italy, Sardinia, Italy, or we were going to move to Greece because, the food looked great. Wine was plentiful, and they were living long and happy lives. So
yeah, not too many bad choices on that list.
No, I don't think so. Like that, I think they're all good for me. So yeah,
awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. So what I would like to do before we conclude is I'll share with everyone where they can access all the visualizations. Like you mentioned, all 10 are incredible. So certainly recommend that you navigate through each one of those. While I'm pulling that up, if folks are interested in seeing other projects you've put together or want to connect with you, how can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. I love connecting with the data community. So absolutely feel free to follow me on LinkedIn or connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter. They're where I'm most active. And I do have other works on Tableau Public that I'm happy to share. I don't know if we have the ability to drop links, but I'm completely open if anybody wants to reach out and connect with me. Again, Jennifer Dawes, and shoot me a message on LinkedIn and be happy to say hi.
Yes, we'll be sure to tag you in this once we conclude,
Perfect.
so that if folks are interested in connecting, it's really easy to find you. And then if they go through and navigate the viz itself, they should not have an issue finding you on Tableau Public either. So that is great. Yes, so if you are interested in navigating this viz and the others that we have available, you can go to dataconnectconf.com. That's dataconnectconf.com. Up here in the top right corner, there's the Data Connect Conference tab. You can go down to Data Viz Competition, scroll down, and then this is going to be all of our top 10. So you can go through, learn a little bit more about each one. You can click here to view the entry, which will take you to the page where it's being hosted. So this one, for example, will take you right to Jennifer's Tableau Public page, where you can navigate this viz itself and then check out any other projects she's put together. Once you've had an opportunity to check out each one of these, you can scroll down just a touch further and hit cast your vote, and it'll have you vote for your favorite. Just as a reminder, voting is open until April 26th, which I believe is a Friday. And then that following Monday, we will announce our top 5. And then those top 5 folks will have an opportunity to actually join us at the event. We host a really cool kind of like art gallery style Data Viz gallery. We do a series of just like video recaps on day 1 and then a whole awards ceremony on day 2. So lots of events around this competition physically at the conference. If you're not able to attend in person, well, I should back up for a minute. If you are interested in just attending as an attendee, tickets are certainly on sale now. Prices jump at the end of April. So April 30th is our last day in round 3. We are also offering a virtual element this year as well. So if you're not able to attend in person, you can still tune in for the awards ceremony at the end of the day on day 2, and that will be live streamed as well. So lots of options to get involved there. Thank you so much again, Jennifer, for joining us today. If you're interested in checking out other things Jennifer has been working on, find her Tableau Public page through our page. Again, we'll tag her on LinkedIn as well. And if you'd like to connect, you certainly can.
Yep,
So
thank
thanks so
you.
much, Jennifer. We appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.